The American Revolution wasn't a sudden outburst. It brewed slowly, fueled by growing resentment towards British rule. The colonists, accustomed to a degree of self-governance, bristled under increasingly restrictive policies from London. The cry of no taxation without representation encapsulated their main grievance. They argued that without elected representatives in Parliament, they shouldn't be subjected to taxes levied upon them. The Stamp Act of 1765, which imposed taxes on printed materials, ignited widespread protests. Colonists boycotted British goods, formed protest groups like the Sons of Liberty, and even resorted to intimidating tax collectors. While the Stamp Act was repealed, Britain continued to impose new taxes, further stoking the fires of discontent. The Townshend Acts, for example, levied taxes on tea, glass, and other imported goods. These actions solidified the colonists' belief that their liberties were under threat. The British government, viewing the colonies as a source of revenue and a market for their goods, failed to grasp the depth of colonial discontent. This fundamental disconnect would have profound consequences as tensions escalated in the years leading up to the Revolution. The Boston Tea Party in 1773 marked a turning point. In defiance of the Tea Act, which granted a monopoly on tea sales to the East India Company, colonists disguised as Native Americans boarded British ships and dumped chests of tea into Boston Harbor. This act of defiance, witnessed by a large crowd, demonstrated the colonists' willingness to resist British rule through direct action. The British responded with a series of punitive measures known as the Intolerable Acts, which further inflamed tensions. These acts closed the port of Boston, restricted colonial self-governance, and allowed British troops to be quartered in colonial homes. The stage was set for a military confrontation. In April 1775, British troops marched towards Concord, Massachusetts to seize colonial military supplies. They were met by colonial militiamen at Lexington, and the first shots of the American Revolution were fired. The news of these engagements spread like wildfire, uniting colonists from different backgrounds in a common cause: independence from British rule. The American Revolution was led by a remarkable group of individuals who risked their lives and fortunes to secure liberty for their countrymen. George Washington, a Virginia planter and veteran of the French and Indian War, emerged as the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. His strategic brilliance and unwavering leadership proved instrumental in guiding the ragtag colonial forces to victory. Thomas Jefferson, a brilliant writer and political thinker, penned the Declaration of Independence, a document that eloquently articulated the colonies' grievances and their right to self-government. His words, echoing the ideals of Enlightenment philosophy, inspired not only the colonists but also future generations fighting for freedom around the world. Benjamin Franklin, a renowned scientist, inventor, and diplomat, played a crucial role in securing foreign support for the American cause. His diplomatic skills and persuasive arguments convinced France to provide vital military and financial assistance to the fledgling nation. Together, these leaders, along with countless other patriots, forged a new nation founded on the principles of liberty, equality, and self-government. The American Revolution, culminating in the Treaty of Paris in 1783, marked a watershed moment in world history. It established the United States of America as an independent nation, founded on the radical idea that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. The Revolution's impact extended far beyond the shores of North America. The Declaration of Independence, with its powerful articulation of universal rights and freedoms, served as a beacon of hope for oppressed peoples around the world. It inspired revolutions in France, Latin America, and beyond, as people rose up to demand their own rights and liberties. The American experiment in self-government, enshrined in the Constitution, provided a model for democratic governance that has been emulated by nations around the globe. The legacy of the American Revolution lives on, not only in the institutions and ideals of the United States, but also in the ongoing struggle for freedom and self-determination worldwide.